Hey kids, I'm back on this 2016 Ford Focus. I think I jinxed myself. I thought it was working perfect. I was getting the odd hard shift here and there, but I just thought that might be because it was a new clutch and had to be broken in. I found that after I drove the car for about 30 minutes and everything started to heat up, the shifting was getting worse and worse, and I started changing actuators, and I put on an old actuator, and I think the actuator I had on the B side might have been bad from Ford. Before I could get a chance to test that theory, I started seeing transmission fluid out in the driveway. It looks like it's dripping out right here by the actuator or the TCM. So I haven't been able to see anything from the bottom. So let's go in from the top here and see what we can find. That one there, you push in, click that, pull it off. This one here has a little red lock and then a button right there. This is a 2016 and it's a 7 mil right here. I don't know if it's the same for every single year. And there's a grommet down here, and there's one up here. Mine's broken up here, so I'm just gonna pull it up right here. And you have to pull this boot off the throttle body. There's a line here from the overflow. Be very careful. I broke it in one of the other videos. It cost me $100 to repair it. I'm gonna grab a light, see if we can see down in there, see any wetness. To see down in here further, I'm gonna take this little air baffle off. That's an 8 mil. Let's see if that shows anything. All right, down under the car, driver's side, there's the actuator, and there's that TCM, and that's where it's wet right there. I don't know if I can get it to focus up in there, but it looks wet up in there, maybe, possibly. Trying to talk myself into things here. And I know there are O-rings on that TCM, so let's take that apart. I never had the TCM off, and it never leaked all winter sitting in my driveway, but maybe I disturbed it. I don't know. Those TCM connectors are a bugger to get off sometimes. Let's see if we can get the bottom one from down here. I know I can get the top one from up above. Let me rearrange the camera. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get you on there or not. There's that handle, and you can see that little button right in the middle of it. So I'm going to push that in and try to pull that up. That button pressed really easy. See if we can get the top one to come off. a screwdriver and gently pry on it. All right, I got it, but I probably didn't do it any favors. I took this tool and I put it up underneath there like so, and I just started going wedging on it and it pushed it off. So I think this gray lever is probably broken. I don't think it does. I don't know if it's doing anything or not. I don't think so. So I don't know if that's going to go back on or not, but let's take this TCM off next. That's the shifter cable. Now, there's a bolt there and there. There. So there's 3. There's probably one down below. These look to be a 10. I got that one loose. Oh, they're long. That's the top. That is the one on the left side. Both the same length. Okay. Now, how am I going to get out that one? There's one here on the right. Got it. Okay, the one on the right's quite a bit smaller. You check from the bottom. There must be something holding that on underneath. There's one all the way at the bottom. I'll have to get it from underneath. And that's another long one. So we had 3 long and a short. Oh, that's going to come off very easy. This cable's hooked on it. There we go. Might have been easier to take it out the bottom. Let's have a look here at it. So there it is. Now, there's no O-rings on that at all. So did they just stay in? Let me have a look. Okay, that's my problem. Whoever assembled this never put the O-rings back on it. So we'll go to Ford first of the week and get a couple O-rings. Hopefully that's all that's wrong with this. Poor workmanship by this previous owner. Really bad. You can see that's soaked right there. I think that's where the fluid's coming out of. There's very wet. Anyways, that's our next step. 2 new O-rings. Alright, it's a few days later and we bought a couple of very expensive O-rings. They told me to throw some assembly lube on the splines and the O-rings, so we'll do that. This is good stuff, it just sticks. When I had that transmission out, I noticed there was quite a bit of dried fluid on it. I should have taken more notice. I'm going to go back and look at my video and see if it's apparent. I'm sure it is. And I was wondering to myself why it was so wet, and I just kind of put it off to they spilt transmission fluid or whatever. But now that I think back, there was definitely an issue. I should have had gloves on. I don't know why I keep touching these chemicals without gloves. Always in a big hurry. Also, is that too close? Got a new actuator. I didn't think they were going to warranty it. They kind of raised an eyebrow when I went in and I told them, I asked them, do you warranty these parts? And he kind of looked at me funny. And I told him, I put them both on, and I said after about 30 minutes, when they warmed up, I was able to put an old one on, and I determined that one of them was bad. I said, all I'm looking for is an exchange. And he said, yeah, we can do that. So he did that for me, thankfully. So we had 4 bolts, and 3 were the same size, and the one on the right was smaller. All right, this is attempt number 2. If I can get it, I'll probably just cut out all the first friggin' around because nobody wants to watch me struggle with this, but I want to acknowledge that it didn't just go on like I was hoping. I guess I should just get a couple bolts in it and see if it pulls it in, shaking it gently. Yeah, I put the bottom one in there. I just pushed it. I loosened the bolt up on the bottom and I pushed the top on. Okay, we're flush down here. We're making some headway there now. Yeah, I think we're good now. Okay, we're flush on those two. Another long bolt right here. And the short bolt went on the bottom right. Or the, not bottom right, but on the right. Now, the fun part, trying to get those little connectors back on. Okay, I don't know what you can see and what you can't see. I wanted to try to show this. If you can see this, there's 6 pins on that thing that have to slide in, and they were closed off like that. They were closed off, and when you start to open that, this slides open. So I put my screwdriver in there to help it. Trying to work one-handed here. So I pulled this out with the screwdriver, and that left those holes open, so now it should slide on. And then hoping that I can lock it. With the lever. Anyways, that's the idea. I just wanted to show that. I had it open further than that. There. Okay. I'm going to leave it just like that. Hopefully, I can't see the camera. I can't see what the camera can see, but hopefully you saw that. Okay, there's no possible way you're going to be able to see me put that on. There's those little 3 pins on each side that I was talking about. And those holes slide right in there. And then when you start to pull this down, it should suck it in. And this bottom one was almost flush. This top one should be in better shape. And it doesn't go on as far. Yeah, that's how they were. Kind of weird looking. This one was off by quite a bit. The bottom one was on. Well, we'll try it. See how it goes. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the new actuator A on. I won't bother recording that since I showed that in the last video. So let me throw that on real quick and then I'll turn you back on. This air baffle back in. 8mm. Air filter. That right there is a 7mm on this one. All right, we are back together. I think that's it. I'll get the wheel on, lower it down, and let's give this a try. All right, I took it for a drive. I don't see anything yet. I'm going to put this cardboard under it. And we'll check it in a few minutes. Be right back. We've been inside for 15 minutes. Perfect. So I don't want to jinx myself. Let me say this. If anything else bad happens to this car, I'll make another video. If you don't see another video in the series, you know everything's good. When I took it for a drive, it was shifting pretty good. So hopefully once it's broken in after 1,000 miles, we'll be good. Thanks for hanging out. Hopefully this is the last one. Later.